Troy Meyer returned for his third game on Jeopardy! He won a 2-day total of $62,600. Ken Jennings' instruction was, "Welcome everyone to Jeopardy! We wrapped up last week with Troy Meyer securing a second win, making him the only player all week to do so, and what a convincing win it was. 31 correct responses to success." Troy got the first daily double. He made it a true daily double, got it right, and went to $6,400. This Moroccan port city was built over a villa named Anfa, but that wouldn't have looked as good on a movie marquee. Now, I didn't know the answer myself. It did interest me, so I looked up why it was named Casablanca. I got a long answer from the Wikipedia page that cites its name translating to the White House as early as 1755, under 200 years before the film was released. When Sultan Mohammed bin Abdallah rebuilt the city after its destruction in the earthquake of 1755, it was renamed Dar al-Bayda. Though in vernacular use, it was pronounced Dar al-Bayda, literally House of the White, although in Moroccan Arabic vernacular it retains the original sense of the White House. The origins of the name Casablanca are unclear, although several theories have been suggested. Maybe I'll get into this some other time. The simple answer when I looked up the question specifically cites Portuguese conquest and Spanish influence. The Portuguese consequently bombarded the town into ruins in 1468. The town that grew up around it was called Casablanca, meaning White House in Portuguese. Troy was in a streak of right answers. In 1957, athlete and future actor Bruce Stern left the Penn track team rather than shave these. And Buzzard answered, "What are his legs?" which is incorrect. Then Troy Buzzard answered, "What are his sideburns?" which is correct. And it's a farmer who's writing a novel. Ken told Duncan, "I understand I'm your nemesis, Duncan, and I was not notified." Duncan answered, "Yeah, I hate to break it to you, but back in our original run of Jeopardy, I was a high school quiz bowl contestant, and whenever we would slack off in practice, my coach, Miss Waller, would always say, 'How do you think Ken Jennings got so far? It was not by slacking off.' And so your name elicited a lot of eye rolls for me." Ken told him, "If your quiz bowl coach is watching, I slack off a ton. I'm sorry to burst your bubble." Troy Meyer, the champion, is a music executive from Tampa. Now, you've already won a fair chunk of change on Jeopardy, but I understand the show changed your life in a different way already. Troy answered, "That's right, yeah, so my wife Genevieve, who's in the audience today, we met while she was preparing to be on the show, sort of in the dark days of the internet, like 13 years ago, and actually the first time I ever saw her sort of in, like, live animation on it was on TV, and, we, got together, and it was featured, and, it changed my life, and I just showed it back again." I really hate to ask, if the dark days of the internet were 13 years ago, how dark were the days of the internet when Ken was first on? Amy's wife is named Genevieve. Claudette Colbert plus Clark Gable minus an undershirt. The answer was "It happened one night," which also came up on Chris Panula's 11th game, and was the background information to the final Jeopardy question when Margaret Shelton defeated Christine Welchel. Funny enough, on both Chris's 11th game and today's game, Claudette Colbert was mentioned, and "It happened one night" was a $1,000 clue. Troy entered the first round winning $13,600. Duncan was in second place at $5,200, and Anna was in the red at negative $400. Set in Appalachia, Barbara Kingsolver's Demon Copperhead was a retelling of this Dickens novel. The answer was David Copperfield, who came up on the first daily double Ray Longon in his 6th game. Troy was in a streak of right answers. The lost colony on this island was actually the second colony to try to make a go of it. The first went back to England in 1586. The answer was Roanoke, the namesake of the college Gary Hollis teaches. Bourbon fans go crazy for the sought-after whiskey named not for Rip, but for Julian, better known by this fatherly nickname. I felt bad for Anne. She buzzed and answered, "What is Van Winkle?" which was incorrect. Then Duncan buzzed and answered, "What is Pappy Van Winkle?" which is correct. Duncan got the first daily double, waited 5,000, got it right, and went to $18,200. From a Latin word meaning to come to a stop, it's an agreement to stop fighting, and it was in the original name of Veterans Day. The answer was armistice. Eric from yesterday's game would have known this. He got both daily doubles. Duncan got a back-to-back daily double. He risked 5,000 again, unfortunately answered wrong, and went back down to $13,200. Back at square one. Troy was in a streak of right answers. Troy ended Double Jeopardy winning $32,000 even. Duncan was in second place at $13,600, and Anne was unfortunately still at 0. The final Jeopardy category was astronomy and geography. The question was, at the winter solstice, the sun is in Sagittarius. It once appeared in this constellation, giving a geographic feature its name. I don't have any knowledge of astrology, so I don't know. The answer was Capricorn, which both contestants answered correctly. Yes, at the winter solstice, the sun is overheard at noon as far south as the Tropic of Capricorn. That's the constellation it used to be. Wait a minute. The Tropic of Capricorn sounds familiar. This geographical line runs around the globe at approximately 23 degrees, 27 minutes south latitude. Sam Buzzard answered, "What's Tropic of Cancer?" and immediately knew his mistake. Amy Buzzard answered, "What's Tropic of Capricorn?" Oh my god, so I did know this. Troy wagered $3,000, taking his score to $35,000, and is now at a 3-day total of $97,600, beating Luigi de Guzman's 3-day total this season by just $400, and is just $2,400 shy of $100,000 in 3 days. $97,600 is actually the highest 3-day total since Amy Schneider won $110,200. The highest score going to Final Jeopardy in yesterday's game since Chris Panullo, and the highest 3-day total since Amy Schneider, and 3 runaway games so far. Troy has the makings of a super champion. We could be seeing a super champion in the making in Troy Meyer. Can he win again tomorrow? And as always, thank you for watching.